Rama Shabda, you can do that. Otherwise, I will get started on one of them. Okay. So, because the streaming has started and because the class is being recorded, I'm going to make use of this. Are you able to recite, Harinder ji? Okay. You're on mute.
Yes, I can do that.
Oh, okay. So I was going to say, if the recording was going on, instead of leaving it for chatter or something, we could do a Rama Shabda hai, but the recording has stopped.
Okay.
But I can probably start the recording. So would you like to do that before you head out? You're on mute again.
I will only listen instead of participating, if that's okay. Just
Sure,
for today.
Yes. Yeah, sure.
But okay. I can do Rama Shabda.
Okay, let me start the recording.
Okay. Okay. So Rama Shabda. Ramaha, Ramo, Ramaha. Ramam, Ramo, Raman. Ramena, Ramabhyam, Ramaihi. Ramaya, Ramabhyam, Ramebhyaha. Ramat, Ramabhyam, Ramebhyaha. Ramasya, Ramayoho, Ramanam. Rame, Ramayoho, Rameshu. Hey Rama, hey Ramo, hey Ramaha.
Very nice. And anybody else, would you like to recite any of the Shabda forms? Or if you want to practice reciting any of the shlokas, prayers, you can do that also. Yes, Prema, please do. Prema ji. Oh, you just said namaste. Okay. So let me do the Panini. Did you want to do something, Prema ji?
I was thinking if I can do the neuter part of the.
Please do. Please do.
Yeah, 1 minute. I'm just opening.
Okay. In the meantime, I will recite the Panini shloka.
Okay.
Yenakshara samam nayam adhigamya maheshwarat kritsnam vyakaranam proktam tasmai paninaye namaha. When you're ready, you please unmute yourself. Till then, I will just keep saying something.
Okay,
So
I'm ready.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, 1 minute. Okay. Phalam, phale, phalani, phalam, phale, phalani, phalena, phalabhyam, phalehi, phalaya, phalabhyam, phalebhyah, phalat, phalabhyam, phalebhyah, phalasya, phalayoho, phalanam,
Phalanam.
Phalanam, phale, phalayoho, phaleshu,
Phalayoho,
phalayoho, phaleshu, phala, phale, he phale, he phalani.
Okay. How many times was there that Pa Mahaprana?
5. Mahaprana, yeah,
is
it's
the
in the
aspirated form. How many?
Phalabhyam, in the Phalabhyam, in the Phalani.
Well, the pa itself is Mahaprana,
Okay.
right? So there should have been that pa itself, you would have recited it 24 times.
Okay. Okay.
In addition to the b that comes up in the middle.
Okay.
So it will be good. And also the other thing is, it will be nice. We have to get enough practice. We have to get warmed up. Once we get warmed up, it would be great to be able to do it as a table. As in, phalam, phale, phalani, phalam, phale, phalani, without putting one comma in between each word.
Oh, okay.
But very nice. Bahu samichinam. Yes, Bhaskar ji.
Namaskaram.
Namaste.
No, good morning. I can try Lata.
Okay.
Of course, I'm reading. Not that I know.
Chinta nasti. No, not a problem.
Lata, late, lataha. Latam, late, lataha. Lataya, latabhyam, latabhihi. Latayai, latabhyam, latabhyaha. Latayaha, latabhyam, latabhyaha. Latayaha, latayoho, latanam. Latayam, latayoho, latasu. Late, late, lataha.
Bahu
He
samichinam.
late, he late, he lata.
Very good. All right, we have one more minute. Does somebody else want to do anything?
I can do the naraha in the masculine.
Okay.
Okay. Naraha, narao, naraha, naram, narao,
Naram. Naram.
naram, narao, naran, narena, narabhyam, naraihi,
Naraihi.
naraihi, naraya, narabhyam, narebhyaha. Narat, narabhyam, narebhyaha. Narasya, narayoho, naranam. Nare, narayoho, nareshu. Nara, narao, naraha.
Bahu samichinam. Very good. And try to then focus on the distinction between the nara and the nara. Right? When you say the word, the other person should be able to clearly hear either a nara or a nara instead of something in between.
Okay, thank you. But I also have a question, because in the
shall we start the class and then you can ask your question?
Okay, yeah, sure.
Okay, so I'm not putting up the Prarthana mantra. Whoever is able to recite Shuklambaradharam, please go ahead.
Shall I start?
Yes, please.
Shuklambaradharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasanna Vadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vighnopashantaye.
Okay, so because this is a Sanskritam class, I'm interrupting every now and then. So in that, when you recite, one of the things that you could do is to keep track of how many Mahapranas are in that verse that you just recited. So Shuklambaradharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasanna Vadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vighnopashantaye. So when you keep track of, one time when you recite, you keep track of the Mahaprana. Another time you recite, you keep track of the Dirgha. This way, your pronunciation will become better and better. And I always say that pronunciation to Sanskritam is like the musical notes to music or the numbers to math. So the pronunciation is very important in Sanskritam. Bahu samichinam.
Thank you. Is it Vishnum or Vishnun? There is a bit of a doubt.
So, Shuklam Baradharam Vishnum
Vishnu.
Dhyayet. It is the verb.
Okay.
And Shuklam Baradharam Vishnum is the object of our Dvitiya Vibhakti. It is the object of the Dhyayet. So it will be in Dvitiya. So it will be Vishnum.
Vishnu.
It will be the object.
Thank you.
Okay. Who wants to do the next one? Saraswati Namastubhyam.
Maybe I'll do
I'll
it.
do it.
Okay. I will get Michelle to do. Shrikant ji, can you do the Yenakshara Samamnayam?
Sure, yeah, no problem.
Okay, Michelle ji.
Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada.
Bahu samichinam. So she caught herself on the Mahapranas. Very nice. All right. Shrikant ji.
Enakshara samamnyayam
Nayam.
samamnyayam adhigamya maheshwarat krishnam vyakaranam proktam tasmai paninaye namaha.
Okay. In that syllable, in that kritsnam, it is kr is a gunitaksharam. It is kr. Then it is snam. It is takaraha first, then sakaraha. Not sakaraha first and then takaraha. Right? In Christu, Christ, it is sa first and ta later. But in this word, it is kritsnam. It is ta first and then sa later.
Okay.
So kritsnam.
Kritsnam. Okay.
Right. Okay. And then the Sahana Vavatu.
I can do it.
I will give somebody else a turn because you did the Lata Shabdaha, if you don't mind. So anybody
problem.
else who has not yet done? Okay, Vasanti ji.
Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunattu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Oh, we lost the audio. Can you do the Tejas Vinavadhitamastu again, please? That
Yeah.
then.
Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Samichinam. Very nice. So we did the Swarasandhihi last week, and I was kind of improvising. I was in a different, I'm using excuses. I was in a different location. I did not have my pen and writing surface on me. So I will use that as an excuse. So to clarify on that Swarasandhihi, I started off saying that the exception was for A, I, O, and Au, followed by A and A. I did clarify right there, but I want to make sure that everybody has noted it, that the exception, which is called the Purva Rupa Sandhihi, is where the A disappears, and we put that Avagraha Chinnam, that S symbol. That A disappearing happens only when the A or the O is in the first position, followed by A, not for O and Au, and not for A. It is only for the A. Okay. Then there is one more sandhi that I did not cover last week, which is Prakriti Bhava Sandhihi. Prakriti means natural. So the Prakriti Bhava Sandhihi happens when the Rikaraha is involved. So at that time, the R will not, if the R is in the latter part, is the first sound of the second word, then that R will remain as is. It will not change. It need not change. So, for example, when you do the Sankalpaha, at that time you will say the name of the season. Currently, of course, we are in, I think we have entered Shishira Rutuhu. So when you do this Shishira Rutau, at that time, if it is Sharad, then you will only say Sharad. It ends in a consonant, so it won't apply. But if you were to say Shishira Rutuhu or Vasanta Rutuhu, then it would be Vasantartuhu, right? By the Gunasandhihi. But then instead, you can just, Vasantartuhu is what? A followed by R. Yeah, Gunasandhihi. So instead of that, it can remain as Vasanta Rutuhu, which means that you are choosing to not do the Sandhihi. So that is also a possibility. Now, before I continue to talk, let me ask if anybody has questions. I saw the homework sent by many of you. I still have Michelle's homework that is yet to be returned. And then Bhaskarji's homework has been sent to me. I will process that and send it back. Anybody, do you have questions?
I need to say that the first part for me was okay to do, but with the second part, it was really, I thought I will not make it. This was difficult.
So for Sandhi in general, you don't need to know the meaning of words to be able to do Sandhi. That is, when somebody points out to you and says, there is a Sandhi here, you please break it up. If they don't point out and say there is a Sandhi, you break it up. If you don't have vocabulary, then it will be difficult. In Tamil, there is a saying, if you don't understand something, if you hear one thing and go off with something else, then we say, Chukumo lagudi ipili. So instead of saying chukku, milagu and tipili, somebody put, chukumu as one word. So it's like saying, Shuklam Baradharam Vishnum is a phrase. It's two words. Now, if I suppose I say I'm going to break it up and I'll say, Shuk is one word, then Lamb is another word, Adhar is one word, because I'm very familiar with English. Shuk is like the English shake, shuk. And then Lamb is something like somebody having a nasal problem saying the word lump, and other. So you can, if you don't know vocabulary, when we break up, that is what will happen. But the saving grace for us is that if there is a technical possibility to make a change, then you're allowed to do that. For example, in the word Bhaskaraha, we may not know how that word is formed. But if you are given that word to break down, all you can say is there is a possibility that Bhaskaraha, that Bhas is probably Bha Askaraha. And if you make that as a Sandhi exercise, you are not wrong. But of course, it is only a, you cannot go publish that, right? But you can certainly say that Bha and Askara is a possibility. So when it comes to, that is the beauty of the Sandhi portion. You can look for nodes where the connection may have been made, and you break it up. That is all. So it can be an exercise. It can be an exercise without needing the vocabulary, where you're only looking at the mechanics of the sound modification. But whether it is valid or not will only apply when you have vocabulary knowledge. And for that, we have to be real, we have to have familiarity, because that is where it is one, familiarity, and two, that's where we also end up having interpretations, right? In if you can say, Swaminiji herself has said in one of the recent lectures how in one case that the Atma, I forget the word. Instead of taking it as Atma, it is Atma, Anatma. No, it cannot be Anatma. There is some other example which is naturally not occurring right now, but you can easily mistake, or you can twist it the way you want it. You want to twist it. So that is why we end up with all these different perspectives.
May I ask another question? Because in the Dropbox, the Quizlet, in normally the Quizlet is on on every sheet, but I cannot find this in my Dropbox. Is it in there, or is it not? So is it my fault? So this is
I don't know. I did not look in the Dropbox because Swaminiji gave it to us here last week. I didn't go and check in the Dropbox.
Okay.
Bhaskar ji, you have to unmute.
Namaste. That was, thank you very much for clarifying the part about not knowing not having the vocabulary and being able to break it up. So I was not sure. I broke up the second part, many of the last words, without knowing the meaning.
Not to worry. So I will, all of us have, that is what even for me, it is not even for me. I'm just a few steps ahead of you with respect to Sanskritam. That is all. And I'm not trying to be modest. That if you look at the vastness of Sanskritam, that is exactly, that is reality. Now, right. So we just we will try. It may be correct, it may be wrong. And that is why we have a guru, a teacher who will be able to correct. Okay. Yes, Saroje.
Namaste, Vidye. I had a question about the tense conjugation, churtatu, because I understand that in tense conjugation, the first
medial.
Yes.
So
medial.
let me first put a disclaimer. I may not be able to address that question right now. If you want to hold on to it till we meet Swaminiji next Saturday
it's about the rakara, why it doesn't get vritti. Because there's a rakara in that, chura. And
okay.
that's a vowel,
if you can
right?
hold off, if you can hold off on that with Swaminiji, that will be
okay.
One more question
yes?
About this conjugation. What is a medial vowel?
That is the swaraha, which is if you go from the back. If you go from the end of the dhatuhu and you go backwards, then the first swaraha that you will hit is the medial
an example.
Swaraha. In Buddh, if you go from backward, if you go from the back, dh, and before the dh, which is the first swaraha you will encounter if you go from the back, the u. So that becomes the, this is my understanding. Okay. Any other questions with respect to the Swara Sandhi? Okay, so we will now move on to do the Vyanjana, the Visarga Sandhi. Now, I need my resource. I will be right back. Now, Visarga Sandhi. First and foremost, we need to know what is a Visarga. Visarga is the expelling of breath. When you have already opened your mouth to utter a swara. So the Visarga cannot occur on its own. The Visarga has to be preceded. Visarga means aspiration. So that Visarga has to be preceded by the swara. And that swara can be anything. When you learn Sanskritam under a teacher, you will pronounce the Visarga correctly as aha, ihi, uhu, ruhu, ehe, aihi, oho, auhu. So if you did not do this under a teacher, it is very likely that you will just do Ramaha, Hariha, Guruha. So that Visarga is not a consonant. That is the difference between the consonant ha and the Visarga. When you say the consonant ha, as in Hari, the ha starts with the on a closed mouth. So it is a consonant. You can pronounce ha. That is a consonant. On the other hand, the Visarga cannot be done like that. You should already have opened your mouth to say a, ha, I, ihi, u, uhu. So you are not changing the shape of your mouth to pronounce the Visarga. The Visarga is expelling breath on the same shape of the mouth that you have left it at after pronouncing the Swara. So that is the Visarga. Now, this Visarga also, yes? Okay, this Visarga also, I think, does not come into existence on its own. It is an end product of a modification. For example, you start with the word, when did we encounter the Visarga? When we saw Ramaha. We encountered the Visarga when we saw the word Ramaha. And how did the word Ramaha start? It started with the Rama Shabdaha. So there is some pratyaya, the sup pratyaya modifier that comes in, and that sup pratyaya causes the, it is the s. So it becomes Ramas, and that Ramas becomes Ramaha. Therefore, this Visarga invariably is a modification of something else. So it is not, so nothing exists as a Visarga at the time of birth. It is always a modification from, like the Ra is a consonant, A is a Swaraha, R is a Swaraha, Ka is a consonant. These all exist as is, but the Visarga is a byproduct, or it is a an end product of some process. Okay. Now, this all these sandhis, some of these sandhis happen inside words. For example, when we saw the word Maheshwara, we know it to be Maha Ishwara Maheshwara. But then the that Maha Ishwara is happening inside a word. The final word is Maheshwara. And when you look at that Maheshwara, you will do it as Akarantaha, Pullingaha, Maheshwara Shabdaha. Maheshwaraha, Maheshwarau, Maheshwaraha, Maheshwaram, Maheshwarau, Maheshwaran. So there the sandhi has to be made. It is not optional. In other places, when you do Yenakshara Samamnayam. So when you do Yenakshara Samamnayam, there also it is two words. Yena Akshara Samamnayam. So you have two words, but because it is in a verse, because it is in a metrical composition, the sandhi there of Savarna Dirgha Sandhihi is a must. It is mandatory. So you should do Yenakshara Samamnayam. Unless you are breaking it down and, saying word by word, you will not say Yena Akshara Samamnayam. You will only say Yenakshara Samamnayam. So in this case, the sandhi is between words. So the sandhi between words is optional. When is it optional? When you are saying it in prose form, that sandhi between words is optional. When you say it in a metrical composition, that sandhi is not optional. And then when you do, and because of that, this visargaha invariably will come at the end of a word. Because the visargaha comes at the end of the word, unless it is in a metrical composition, it will not be mandatory. Sadhu. But so when you are making in Antoine, you will find that in not just Antoine, in any exercise book, when you are given it as an exercise for sandhi, then they will certainly, even in the prose form, they will incorporate the sandhi. But otherwise, the sandhi in general is optional when you do prose. Then going back to manuscripts, when you are to read an existing manuscript, not something that we are going to type now, but a manuscript from way back, they would have had the tendency to write the entire Devanagari in, even if it is in prose form, the entire Devanagari will be one stream of letters till it encounters the stop, the viramaha. So the sandhi is an integral part of the Samskrita life. You cannot live without sandhihi, but you also cannot learn sandhihi by itself. For you to learn sandhihi, to have a meaningful knowledge of sandhihi, you need to have meaningful knowledge, you need to have vocabulary and so on. But still, we are now learning sandhihi. We are doing just boring down on it. So additional information is all provided to us. Like how when you go to the museum and there is a children's playpen, everything is pre-made and given to them for them to be playing with. Like that, when we learn Visarga Sandhihi, somebody has already pre-made all those things and they are telling us and we are saying, okay. So I will be right back. I'm also in the same state. So don't think I'm referring to you all as children and considering myself to be in some planet. That is not the case. I'll be right back. Okay. So for the Visarga Sandhihi, I'll keep track of time because I also have to, we also have the homework. And after the homework, this week, you can send me both the Sandhi homework. Swaminiji has also given another homework for sentence formation. That also you can send to me. Okay. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so I am sharing my screen. With respect to the Visarga Sandhihi, it is, again, we are going to look at, you can look at it in multiple ways. You can either look at it as what happens when, let me stop sharing for a second. You can look at, Kshamyatam. You can look at it as what happens when the, when sounds come randomly. You can look at words and combinations and figure out what happens. Or you can look at it as what are all the ways in which the outcome changes. So we will look at, last time for the Swara Sandhihi, I went systematically looking at what happens when you combine a with the other sounds, and then we went with the remaining. So I went systematically that way. Here, I'm going to take a different approach. We are going to look at it from what the outcome is going to be. I think I may have to do a spotlight, don't I? Okay. But I can also do, spotlight and do gallery view. Okay. So the, mechanics of it distracted me. Okay, so for the Visarga Sandhihi, you are going to look at, we are going to look at the outcome. What will happen when a Visarga is combined? So from that point of view, we will look at when does the Visarga become a R? When does the Visarga become an O? When does the Visarga become a S? When does the Visarga disappear? So like that, we will look at the outcome and then look at the conditions for each of them. Sadhu? Sadhu means okay. All right. So if we look at our Gurur Brahma, the Gurur Brahma is a very nice example where you have Gurur Brahma. So there you have Guruhu Brahma becoming R. So Gurur Brahma, the Visarga becomes a R. Then Gurur Vishnuhu, there also it is the same thing. Guruhu Vishnuhu, the Visarga becomes a R. Gurur Devo. So I'm going to skip the Gurur Devaha because it's the same. But then Devo Maheshwara. So Devaha and Maheshwara. I will share this in the WhatsApp. Okay, so Devaha Maheshwara. Here, this Devaha becomes, the Visarga becomes an U, and then it becomes an O. So that is why you have Gurur Devo Maheshwara. Then you have Guruhu Sakshat. So in that Guruhu Sakshat, it becomes Gurus Sakshat. Gurus Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Kshamyatam. Okay. So Gurus Sakshat. Then if we look at I'm going to randomly go around and look for some other occurrence of the Visargaha. The next one is where we have all been working on Om Shantish Shantish Shantihi. Shantihi and Shantihi. So Shantihi and Shantihi, this Visargaha becomes Sh. And then, what do we have? I need one Lopaha. I need a disappearance. So if you were to say Ramaha atra asti, no, Ramaha itaha gacchati. Rama goes from here. So if you were to do that, then it would be, let me do Devaha Ishvaraha. So instead of Devaha Maheshwaraha, if you had it as Devaha Ishvaraha, then this Visargaha will disappear. And so it will become Deva Ishvaraha. And at that time, you cannot again say, oh, I can now do a sandhi of this. That you can't do. Okay. So these are all the different scenarios that we are going to look at. So we have to be looking at when it becomes a R, when it becomes an U, and so an O, when it becomes a S, and this Sh is just a modification of the S, and then when it becomes a Lopaha, disappears. So we have these 4 conditions to explore, and I have about 15 minutes to do that exploration. So you know that I'm just going to give it to you, and then we will be able to practice it using the examples. But I have explained to you what is happening, and therefore it should not be too difficult. Okay, so the first rule I said was going to be Gurur Brahma. Okay, I'm going to go by the sequence that I have here with me. So the first one we are going to do is U, which is my number 2. So I will address the number 2 option, and then I'll come back to number 1. So the Visargaha becomes, it is not, so nowhere can I write a Visargaha like that. Visargaha means it is always prefixed by some Swaraha. And for a Swaraha, I will write Ach. Vidya, can you just write a little better? Okay. Ach means a Swaraha from Maheshwara Sutrani. Ach equal to Swaraha. So that Visargaha, that any Swaraha followed by a Visargaha. And now we are looking at this Visargaha becoming a, what did I say? We were U, when it is going to become an U. And it is very logical. So you will enjoy doing that is why Sandhi is very attractive. Sandhi is very attractive because it's not It's not anybody's whim. There may be some whim portion, but that whim portion is only till such time that we don't know why it is a whim. It really is not a whim. Okay, so here, when you have, so I'm going to write the rule. I will write the rule using blue color. So when you have akaraha, so it has to be only an it cannot be an a, e, or any other sound. So when you have an akaraha and it is followed by, I will use the plus sign, but try not to pronounce it, because when you say aha plus, it is like the bubble is forming, natural bubble is forming to make the sandhi, and we are puncturing it by using the plus word. So you try to just say aha atra. So what is going to follow? This aha followed by either an if that aha is followed by an a, or it is followed by a mridu vyanjanam, a soft consonant. Soft consonant is ga, gha, nga, ja, jha, nya, da, dha, na, ta, kshamyatam. Da, dha, na, ba, bha, ma. So we are going to, these are the soft consonants that we have from the 5x5 matrix. Then additionally, ya, ra, la, va, and ha. So these are soft consonants. We will need to come back and refer to that. Next time, I won't be listing all of them. Soft consonants in Sanskritam are called mridu, mridu vyanjanam. Mridu means soft. So mridu vyanjanam is a soft consonant. All of these are soft consonants. So phalam, phale, phalani, mridu vyanjanam, mridu vyanjane, mridu vyanjanani. Okay. So when this aha is followed by either an a or any of the soft consonants, at that time, this visargaha alone will become an u. So it will become a, the intermediate stage, I will put it in some other color. Let me put it in this light brown. So this intermediate stage, the visargaha will become an u. And then you still have your or that whatever, the second part is still there. So this u, what happens to a and u? You have to go back to your
it becomes O.
Oh, what? Say that again.
It becomes an O.
You are, I'm not able to tell if you're telling an U or you're telling an O.
Ooh.
Your mouth has to open a little more.
Oh.
Right? Correct. Yes, yes. So that clarity is needed in Sanskritam, because if that clarity is not there, the words will be will end up being different. O, U, U, O. So that is, so you can say the sounds, look in the mirror, look at your mouth and see what happens, and you will know what the difference is. Okay, so A and U becomes O. So I'm going to write for this Visargaha becomes an U, and therefore the end result that we have is going to be an O. And that is why in the Maheshwara, in that Guru Devo Maheshwara, right? You had Devaha followed by Maheshwara. The Ma comes under this Mridu Vyanjanam, and therefore you had it as Devo Maheshwara. Very nice. I need to give you the result, and that result is going to be.
You, Vidyaji, you said it combines with an A. Where is the A in Maheshwara?
Devaha Maheshwaraha, right? So
Right.
you have Devaha Maheshwaraha. This is the example I gave. What is this Devaha? So when you look at, when you do Sandhi, you have to separate the Rif from the Raf. So Dev is the Rif.
Yeah.
And the Aha is what we are working with.
Right.
And then this, you're combining it with the Ma.
Yeah.
So this Visargaha will become an U, and the two together will become an O. And so your resultant will be Dev, O and Maheshwaraha. So it will be Devo Maheshwaraha.
Thank you.
All right. So this is going to become O plus whatever was here. So it will repeat as is. So whatever is on the right will remain as is. Whatever is on that left, that Aha alone will become an O. Sadhu? Okay. Now you just have to think of different words and then figure out what will happen to them. That is one thing. And look at different, you have the entire Bhashyam text in front of you. So you can look where you are seeing these changes. Okay. Now we are going to go to the next rule. So let me see what is in my list here as the second rule. The second niyamaha for us is going to be where it disappears. So what is the situation under which the Visargaha disappears? And disappearance is my 4, I think, right? Yes. So disappearance is 4. Now I'm going to do 4. And how did I start the 2? Ach swaraha followed by, okay. So the ach swaraha changes into a U. When does it change into a U is what we saw here. I will later on summarize it in words. I'll summarize it in words that you can use as reference. Now you please, I'm giving you the data. I'm not making it in statement. So I will give it to you as a statement later on for reference. Now we are going to look at when the Visargaha disappears. Means in Sanskritam, lopaha. Lopaha means it doesn't exist anymore. So what causes this visarga to disappear?
A vowel.
What? I'm going to get to that. Okay. So the first thing is, we have already addressed a followed by aha followed by a. Now, when you have, we will list and then go back and summarize it there. So when you have an aha followed by any other swaraha, non a swaraha. So if you were to say Ramaha agacchati, when you say Ramaha agacchati, then the visarga will disappear. It will become Rama agacchati. Have you all done visarga sandhi?
We did in the first class from the book.
How many did you do? Which one did you not do? Okay, I will speed through because that way you get done with what did not get done, and I don't spend too much time on something that was already done. Okay, so aha becomes, when aha is followed by any non-swaraha, it disappears. The next condition is when you have an aha followed by either a swaraha.
What is a swaraha?
E.
Okay.
I can't pronounce the VOWEL, so I will use the word swaraha. Aha, when an aha is followed by either a swaraha or a mridu vyanjanam. So mridu vyanjanam is the soft consonant. So when aha is followed by a swaraha or a mridu vyanjanam, the visarga will disappear. So here let us see the word Ramaha atra becomes non-a sound. Ramaha agacchati. Rama comes, and this will become Rama agacchati. Then any other swaraha or a mridu vyanjanam, example will be Balaha atra. Atra means here. So Balaha atra will become Bala atra. Or Balaha gachanti. The boys go. That will also become Bala gachanti. The visarga will disappear. Okay. So the visarga disappears when you have an aha followed by a non-swaraha, or aha followed by any swaraha or a mridu vyanjanam. Okay. Then special cases where you have eshaha or saha. This is a special case I can ignore, but you will encounter this very frequently. So when you have eshaha or saha, which are pronouns, so when eshaha, they also end in an aha. But when they are followed by non-a sound. When eshaha or saha is followed by any non-a sound, in Aditya Hridayam, there is a phrase where eshaha Brahma cha Vishnuscha Shivashankas Esha Brahma cha Vishnuscha Shivaskandav Prajapatihi. So there it would be Eshaha Brahma Eshaha Brahma. Because of this will become Esha Brahma. Now, even for if not, what would it have been? It would have become an O, correct? If it had been Ramaha, Suryaha Brahma, then it would be Suryo Brahma. But because it is Eshaha, it will remain as Esha Brahma. All right. So we have now looked at 2 niyamaha. We've looked at 2 rules, 2 and 4. We still need to do 3 and I'm going over time. I beg pardon so much, but I will augment this with the additional notes. And Swamini ji has also given homework. So that will help solidify the knowledge. Okay. So now,
sorry, just 1 minute. If it is Saha Brahma, will it be Sa Brahma?
Correct.
Okay.
It will only be Sab Brahma. It won't be so.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. So the next rule that we are going to look at is when it is going to become a r. So generally, we use the karaha for individual sounds. Like in English, we say the letter A, the letter B, the letter C. In Sanskritam, we say akaraha, ikaraha, ukaraha. But then for the r sound, if you say rikaraha, it is the swaraha, rishihi, r. But if you want to say ramaha, ra, we don't say rakaraha, we say repaha. So now we are going to look at the situation when the visargaha becomes a repaha. And that is our 1. Okay, when the visargaha becomes a repaha. Repaha is the r consonant. Okay, so when does the visargaha become a repaha? So it is the logical progression that we have been making, right? We first saw a followed by a, aha followed by a, aha followed by mridu vyanjanam. Then we saw aha followed by swaraha, and now when it is any other than aha, so non aha, aha visargaha, which means ihi, uhu, rih, ehe, aihi, oho, auhu. So when any of those, maybe I should list it. So it is e. When I say ihi, it is referring to e. Then uhu, rih, ehe, aihi, oho, auhu. So when any of these visargas are followed by any swaraha or mridu vyanjanam. So when a non-aha, aha visargaha is followed by any swaraha or a mridu vyanjanam, at that time lopaha, no, at that time it becomes a r. Gurur Brahma, we already have that as our example. Guruhu, uhu, Brahma. So you can do Guruhu Brahma, we already have seen. Instead of Guruhu, I will say Harihi. When you say Harihi Brahma, it is going to become Kshamyatam. So when you say Harihi Brahma, it is going to become Harir Brahma. Sadhu? Okay. So that was simple. The niyamaha, the rule is simple, which means that you're in all other situations, it is going to be the 3. 3 is where the visargaha becomes a sakaraha. So visargaha only becomes a sakaraha. It doesn't become anything else. But because of some Vyanjana Sandhi rule, this sa becomes the, so once the visargaha becomes a sa, then because of consonant Sandhi, the sa followed by the ta vargaha remains as a sa. The sa followed by the ta vargaha becomes a sh, and the s followed by the, what have I left? Cha. So the sa followed by the cha, cha vargaha will become sh. So sit, s, sit, sh, and sich, sh. So either the ta or the sa, either the ta or the sha, either the cha or the sha. So when the sa is, when this visargaha is followed by the sa, sha or sha, it will become sa, sha or sha. So example for that is Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. It became a sa. The visargaha became a sa, and then that sa in turn, because the following sound is a sha, the sa followed by the sha, correct? So the sa becomes a sha. So it becomes Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. There are a few more exceptions and special cases. We can do that when we meet next week. For example, there are certain avyayams like punaha. When, just like we had an exception for eshaha and saha, like that there is an exception for avyayams, punaha, when it ends in an aha. At that time, instead of behaving like an aha, it becomes a r. So we will see that when we meet next time. And then there is also the other, we did not cover what happens when the visarga is followed by a ka or a kha. What happens when the visarga? So what is this ta, ta, cha? These are the hard consonants, right? We only have been dealing with soft consonants. The ta, ta, cha is the hard consonant. We are leaving out the ka and the pa, because when you have the ka and the pa, the visarga becomes the jihva muliyah or the upadhmaniyah. That is why namah Parvati Pataye. So Parvati Patihi is pa. So Namaha Parvati Pataye will become Namah Parvati Pataye. And then Kakaha Krishnaha will become Kakah Krishnaha. You won't say Kakaha Krishnaha, you will say Kakah Krishnaha. So those things I'm rushing through it, but we will address it when we meet next week. Any prashnaha? Any question?
Vidyaji, I have sent my homework.
Okay.
I
will. Oh,
hope
yes,
you will,
yes.
First time I'm sending it to you, so I was just
Okay.
whether you
Okay.
received or not. And also, I'm not on that WhatsApp group.
So you please send me your phone number, and I will forward you the link, or I will send you the link for the WhatsApp group, and you can enroll. Or you can send it to Chris G here. He's in the he's the admin for that group. So if you can send your detail to
ID, or I can put it on chat if you want.
Yeah, you can message him privately, or you can put it on the chat here, and that will work. I have to give you the file that Swaminiji sent a short while ago.
Okay.
For the homework.
Okay.
Vidyaji, sorry, once more, the visarga plus the refa, will it be a refa?
It's not fa, right? It is not fa, it is pa.
Repa. Will it be a ra with the line underneath it?
Repaha is a ra with a line underneath, but then it will combine with whatever sound is. For example, what did I? Gurur Brahma, right? The r will go as a hook on top of the bra.
So it will be a full ra or a full repa or a half?
It will only be half, right? You should not think of it as a full ra or a half ra. It is r, the pure consonant, followed by the a swaraha.
Okay.
It is not going to be the a swaraha. It is only going to be r. Only the r consonant.
Okay.
I have added the PDF that Swaminiji had sent for the Visarga Sandhi homework. So you please do the homework and send it to me. And then the other, there was another instruction from Swaminiji. The other instruction was, please do 10 sentences. So please do 10 sentences. I will just add that. Okay, here. Please do 10 sentences Sanskrit to English and 10 sentences English to Sanskrit from Antoine lesson 7, Roman numerals 2 and 3. Okay, I'm adding that to the message here. Oh, I meant to send it to all. I'm sending the PDF only now. I've just put it on the chat now. So please scroll up to the chat and take the PDF from there. Okay. Any prashna? Any other question?
Please give the Antoine reference one more time.
It is Antoine, lesson 7.
Oh, there, I see it.
Roman-
Awesome. Sorry, I
Okay.
see it now. Okay.
No problem. Roman numerals 2 and 3. All right. So any other question, any other prashna? I'm sorry if I sounded a little rushed or if I sound, please scroll up mightily. If you scroll up in the scroll bar, you will see the...
I don't know whether I joined late. So
No, I sent it just now at 10:35. I sent the PDF.
Because this chat is going to disappear, I put this homework PDF and the Antoine business in the WhatsApp group.
There you go.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Because otherwise, you're going to go up and smoke, Vidya, and we'll all panic.
I will also send the notes to you, and you can upload that also to the, because my WhatsApp doesn't speak to my computer.
Oh,
so
well, you can send me if you want. Yeah.
I will send it to you and you can upload that. I will appreciate that greatly.
Okay.
Thank you very
much. Thank you, Vidya.
Okay. Let me do the Shanti Mantra.
1 minute, Vidya. The PDFs that you have been sending lately, can it be added to the ones which we had earlier in that folder? Which is
okay, I don't know about all those things. It is added here and it has been added to the WhatsApp group.
I added to the Dropbox.
Okay. All right. Somebody has added it to the Dropbox also. Okay.
So I once I'm included in the thing, can that be given to me again? I'll
Yes.
send my number. Okay,
yes,
thanks.
yes. Mm. Okay.
Is there a new WhatsApp group just for the Sanskrit
Yes.
class?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
I think I'm not on that one.
If you are on the other one, Chris had sent an invite to the new group, to the other group. So if you just scroll for that, or here, he's added it.
I've just shared it. Yeah, thank you, Vijay. It's right. You can click on that and join. I just realized they have clickable link to join, which is much easier.
Right. So those of you who are not yet part of the Samskrita group, please click on that link and join that group. So one quick note, the Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate, it is a Vedantic Shanti Mantra. Any Shanti Mantra can be uttered anywhere. There is no restrictions. But the Shanti Mantra that even Swamini ji says at other times is Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah. So here in the Sanskritam class, I would do the Sarve Bhavantu. If any of you would volunteer to do that, please do so. Okay, Saroje.
Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayaha, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschit dukkha bhag bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shukubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
Bahu Samichinam, very nice. So we will meet again on Saturday and then subsequently on Sunday. In the meantime, I will send today's notes. Send your homework to me.
Thank you, Vidyaji.
Thank you, Vidyaji.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Thank you.